in Morocco, right by the Sahara Desert.
Standing at the summit of Mauna Kea on the big island of Hawaii.
I visited Alaska. They'd gotten a grant to bring scientists in.
I woke up one night and walked out, and
It's 70 below.
my first thought was that it was snowing.
Literally every direction you look, even down a little bit below the horizon line, there are stars. It has kind of severed our connection to the night sky, which has been this thing that has inspired people for many thousands of years.
It's always been part of us, and now we're erasing it.
So the way that we normally define light pollution is we say that it's any form of outdoor light at night that produces some sort of adverse impact.
In the 19th century, after the invention of the light bulb, the stars began to recede into the light of cities. As cities get bigger, they also get brighter.
Our economy really took off. That's when our city started to brighten up very rapidly.
The Mount Lemmon Sky Center is the astronomy arm of University of Arizona. They hold public viewing sessions and host astronomers and observers at the site.
It sits up above 9,000 feet, so we get above things that would limit our seeing, above light pollution, above dust.
The work done at Mount Lemmon contributes to the International Database of Information. This is Carson Pools. Originally from Texarkana in East Texas, he's an observer at the Mount Lemmon Survey. He says that the Mount Lemmon observers have discovered 15,000 near-Earth asteroids, but visibility to the stars is a critical part of these observations.
It kind of washes out any really asteroids. Our fear is always that we'll miss something because it's lost in the background haze of photons from lights down in the valley.
9,000 feet above Tucson, light pollution doesn't yet affect their observations, but they stay on high alert for the day that it might.
For work, certainly, I would hate to miss important object, something that's scientifically interesting, or even worse would be a small impactor just because it's washed out due to light pollution.
So you go to Flagstaff and you'll notice that for the most part, their street lighting is this very yellow, almost orange looking light that's made with a type of a lamp called a low pressure sodium lamp. And the reason that they do that is rather than emitting all of the colors uniformly like a white light, those lamps emit in just a little narrow part of the spectrum.
These lights emit a blue wavelength that tricks the brain into thinking that it's daytime. Research suggests that blue light disrupts the brain's circadian rhythm, which can impact long-term health and cause behavioral problems.
If you talk to people in Flagstaff, they understand why the streetlights are yellow and not some other color, but they don't have to do a lot of enforcement because people just already kind of get it.
Anne, like many other Flagstaff residents, does her part in the community to reduce the sky glow. Sky glow is the buildup of artificial light in a specific area, and Anne has been known to hand out amber lights to her neighbors to encourage awareness.
Putting better porch lights on the front and back doors of your house, it makes a huge difference.
For some Flagstaff residents, thinking about what they do on Earth and how it impacts their environment is critical to the preservation of the night sky. Simple actions like shielding porch lights can make a big difference.
Could other cities benefit from the way Flagstaff does what it does? Absolutely.
Flagstaff passed the world's first lighting ordinance in 1958 with the encouragement from Lowell Observatory. And as regulations become political, many of these ordinances are pushed through by activists, like the local chapter of the International Dark Sky Coalition. These community members know what's at risk and have come together to fight it.
You really have to start at the community and grassroots level, or at least work from both ends. I mean, it will always be a political issue because to control it, you've got to regulate it. And to regulate it, you've got to have ordinances and laws, and legislative bodies have to pass those.
One of the worst things is that whole generations of kids are, especially in the cities, are growing up without ever experiencing things, so they don't even know what they're missing.
Well, dark skies have been part of Flagstaff's community identity for 50 years. It's part of who we are.
don't we owe it to future generations to try to solve as many of these problems as we can? I have hope for the future as far as our ability to turn this around in the span of a generation or two, if we were really committed to it. So if that's what the night sky reminds us of, there's a benefit to that that's far greater than whether people can see the night sky.
We are stardust that somehow went from a ridiculous hydrogen atom to this collection of atoms that can ponder its own origins. Sometimes you hear people say that makes you feel so insignificant. I don't think it does make you feel insignificant.